Good day to you, child of God. This is the Remnant Seed Bible Study channel. Welcome. Today's subject is the covenant of the two princes. I want to talk to you today about this word, the covenant, in Daniel. Basically, the entire chapter 9 of Daniel. Every time he uses the word covenant, it's the same thing. And it's a league or a pact of nations, like the New World Order or the League of Nations. And it's basically a pact, in the explanation of the meaning, it's a pact between two hands of flesh, two pieces of flesh. So you can use this word in a descriptive sense as a pronoun, to describe, any type of agreement. But the modern church has turned this into some type of a covenant that Israel makes with, I don't know who they make it with, whoever, but it couldn't be further from the truth. This is a covenant made with the devil and his people. And then also, you as a Christian, when you are saved, you're making a covenant with the Lord. You are in covenant with him if you're saved. So this nonsense of this supposed covenant being made and lasting for 7 years, and then Israel or whoever breaks this, and then all hell breaks loose after this, supposedly. I want to show you today who these two princes are. One is the prince and the power of the air, and one is the Prince of Peace, the King of Kings. And there shouldn't be any mystery as to who this is, but apparently there is. The modern church, they're teaching such falsehoods, it's really hard to start. But let's get right into this. Now I'm going to go into the mystery of iniquity. I want to try to explain that, the one mentioned in 2 Thessalonians 2, and to look at the method of operation of the locust army. I want to explain to you who they are. I've already done videos on this, but this is a little bit different twist on this. Not twist, it's probably a bad word, but it's a different take on it. And we're going to find this in Joel 2, Revelation 9, and Daniel 9. So let's get right into this. When you examine current geopolitical events, you can't help but notice the commonality of the different nations. They all seem to be in lockstep with one another, and it seems as if they have one mind. They're ruthless, cunning, and more subtle than any force I've ever seen in my life, and I would venture to say in history. They're waging war against the common man throughout the entire world, and their main weapon is deception. And the citizens of the world are waking up to this reality, but for many it may already be too late. Make no mistake, beloved, this is a war, and it's being waged against you, and especially here in the United States. There's a war against the middle class, the common man in America, which is the strength of America. And that's what the global elite fear is, the middle class in America. And make no mistake about it, beloved, they fear you. Okay, so I see a striking similarity between today's current events and Joel 2, Revelation 9, and Daniel 9. The locust represents all of the followers of Satan. I believe the locust also represents this final end times covenant made between Satan and the people who worship him. And beloved, look around you. These people worship the devil. And they're waging a war on mankind right now. We're in for the battle of our lives, beloved. It's coming. It's coming, and it's coming soon. And it's already started. Look at the description of these locusts and also their MO, and it matches what is currently going on in our world today. And it's strikingly similar, beloved. Turn on the boob tube and lies spew forth all day long. It's a circus. The lies are so bad they don't even try to hide it anymore. It's ridiculous. And beloved, there is a locust I'm not going to say that word, and our government is full of them. They rule from behind closed doors without the consent of the people, and most Americans And also the world is completely deceived by this locust, and that's their main method of operation, and the main weapon they use is deception. And beloved, in Joel, the Lord said, my great army which I sent among you. Now I want to try to explain the mystery of iniquity. And this is found in 2 Thessalonians 2:7. For the mystery of iniquity does already work. Only he who now will let until he be taken out of the way. So I'm not going to go into the complete explanation of this verse. I'll just say that the mystery of iniquity is at work today. And the one who is behind it is the one who's being held by Michael in heaven in this verse. It's none other than Satan, and he's doing it by proxy. But there will be a time when he does this in person, when he's cast to the earth, as 2 Thessalonians 2:4 says. And the mystery of iniquity is no mystery to God's elect. And you could say this mystery of iniquity is the shadow government. It's what they do behind closed doors, all the shady deals, all the killing and the thieving and just absolute debauchery that goes on behind closed doors. This is what Paul is speaking of in 2 Thessalonians. Now you look at the word mystery, it basically means mystery in the Greek. It's basically the same thing. And iniquity is basically lawlessness, without law, transgression, unrighteousness, illegality, violation. And just look at America. We are so lawless right now. Absolutely none of these criminals go to jail, beloved. And it's a perfect description of the mystery of iniquity in America right now. America is a cesspool, beloved, and I love this nation, but our politicians need to be, all of them, need to be rooted out of Washington, and we need to start over again. Now I'm going to go over Revelation 9:1. This is the MO, the method of operation of the locust army. This is how they act. This is who they are. And the global elite follow this method of operation. They operate exactly as the locust. Okay, and there's 4 stages of the locust, right? And now they are above ground. The first stages of the locust is underground. You can't see it, but we're actually now in the opening stages of open and complete debauchery by the deep state or shadow government, the devil worshippers, whoever you want to call them. It's the prince and his people. Okay, Revelation 9:1, and the 5th angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. And you know who this is, beloved. This is the 5th trump. And this is looking ahead to the 6th trump. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit. And now this is right before the 6th trump, because he's not actually on the earth, but he opens the pit up. And the smoke is symbolic of lies, and I highlighted this. And out of the pit as the smoke of a great furnace, and the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. It's so bad you can't even see the sun. I mean, just turn on the boob tube, just look at the internet, just look at, the Washington Compost, the New York Times, all a bunch of liars, beloved, nothing but liars. And there came out of the smoke locust upon the earth, and unto them was given power as the scorpions of the earth have power. Beloved, I've went through this explanation, but the scorpion symbolizes the lies and the way that they absolutely turn people's backbones. Nobody has a spine. You've heard spineless? Well, this is the true definition of spineless. The lies are so complete that people become completely helpless because they're so deceived. And that's what the scorpion resembles here, beloved. Okay. Now, and it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of God on their foreheads. Now, the grass of the earth is symbolic for living things, and any green thing that's living. And what do locusts do? They just, when they get done, they strip the bark off the trees. You're left with nothing. Okay? And the seal of God in your forehead is just simply means, have you read God's word? Do you understand what's going on here? And to them it was given that they should not kill them, but they should be tormented 5 months. And there is the length of the great tribulation. That's what I believe this verse is referring to. And their torment is as the torment of a scorpion. I explained it to you. When he strikes a man by lying to him. They make you completely just can completely take all the wind out of your sail because they lie to you so much, and people are so deceived right now. Okay? And the shapes of the locusts were like unto horses prepared unto battle. And I forgot to read the rest of this verse. And many men are just going to basically pray for the mountains to fall on them at this time, once they find out that they've been lied to. Okay, and let's go over this again. And the shapes of the locusts were like unto horses prepared unto battle, and on their hands were as crowns like unto gold, and their faces were the faces of men. They were men, beloved, and not bugs. And these are the deep state. These are the people aligned against you right now in the deep state, in the shadow government, the mystery of iniquity. And they had hairs, the hair of women, and their teeth were the teeth of lions. They spoke gently, but they lied like a lion. And they had breastplates, as it were breastplates of iron, and the sound of their wings were as the sound of chariots of many horses running to battle. Can you just imagine an army with the tanks and cannons and air support? And this is describing that. And these are not bugs. And they had tails like unto scorpions, and there were stings in their tails, and their power was to hurt men 5 months. There's that term, there's that length again, 5 months. And they're given 5 months to do this, beloved. And the devil knows he only has a short time, so he's going to make headway while he can. And he had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue it's Apollyon. And there you have it, beloved. Here is the prince that's being spoken of in Daniel. This is the prince of his people, the one who goes and destroys the sanctuary by standing in the holy place claiming to be God. He defiles the temple. This is their king, beloved, Abaddon and Apollyon, the destroyer. It's none other than Satan, and that's why they seem like they're winning, and they may win in this earth age, but in the end, it is God who wins. Okay, now I'm going to go over Joel that describes the same thing in Revelation 9. Joel describes the locust army in the time right before the Lord's day, which is the millennial reign of Christ, or the return of Christ. This is all speaking up to the time right before the end. The same with Revelation 9. And so I'm going to skip on to verse 2 here. A day of darkness and of gloominess, and a day of clouds and thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains. A great people. These are the mystery of iniquity. These are the shadow government. These are the people, the evil ones that follow Satan. And this is a description of who they are and what they do. And they strong, there has not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. Make no mistake, beloved, these people are a formidable enemy, and you see it right now. Their main weapon is deception. A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them. Behind them is a desolate wilderness. This is what they do. They want to take you out. Yeah, and nothing shall escape them. The appearance of them as the appearance of horses and horsemen, same as Revelation 9. So they shall run like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains. They leap like the noise of a flame of a fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. Do you get the picture, beloved? They are set in battle array against you right now, even though there's not a kinetic war being fought. They're waging this war of deception. And before their face, the people shall be much pain. All faces shall gather blackness. And people will tremble once this really starts and they start showing their true colors, which they're right in the beginning stages of right now, beloved. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war. And they shall march every one on his ways. And they shall not break their ranks. I want to spend some time on this. Have you noticed how the left and the global elite never break ranks? It seems like they are just in complete lockstep. And you want to know why? Because their ruler is Satan. They are taking their orders from Satan, and that's why they have such a commonality about them. And they actually have supernatural power that's given to them by Satan. And this power is deception, beloved. Again, I'll say it 1,000,000 times. Deception. Okay? Okay, neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one on his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. Beloved, basically nothing can stop them. That's what they're saying. That's what John is saying here. They shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up the houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief. And it's like they enter in at the windows like a thief. Look at your boob tube. Look how they come into your house through the tube and the net. So this verse right here describes that perfectly. The earth shall quake before them. The heavens shall tremble. The sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. So this is a fake coming of the Antichrist, because this is what happens when Christ comes. Satan imitates Christ in everything he does. And the Lord shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great, for he is strong, that executeth his word. For the day of the Lord is great and very terrible. Who can abide in it? Therefore also now, saith the Lord, turn ye even to me with all your heart, and with fasting, and with weeping, and with mourning. And beloved, this is the only way we will be spared of this, but I don't see this coming in America. And I will restore to you the years the locust hath eaten, the cankerworm, the caterpillar, the palmer worm, my great army which I sent among you. And there you have the 4 stages of the locust, beloved, or the circadia, which has the 17-year life cycle. Okay? And part of that life cycle is underground. Okay, now let's go to Daniel 9:26 and describe this, and just look at this prince again. I just did a video on this. Daniel 9:26, and the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary. Now this is speaking of the people of the prince of the devil. And the end thereof shall be with the flood, and to the end of the war desolations are determined. And this is when Satan stands in the holy place of 2 Thessalonians 2:4, claiming to be God, beloved. These all tie in together neatly. Verse 27, and he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. Now this is the covenant that I believe has already been made with these people. Okay? And in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. This is basically when the people of God turn to the Antichrist and worship him as if he were God. Their sacrifice and oblation will cease at this time. And for the overspreading of abominations he shall make it desolate, even unto the consummation that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. Okay, for the sake of time, beloved, I'm not going to go over all these verses in Daniel, but every one of them mention this word covenant. Okay? And they're basically referring to this pronoun, which is the covenant made between the devil and his people. And this is a pact or a league. Okay? And I give you the meanings of sanctuary here, which is a holy place. And many people say that 9:26 is speaking about God's people destroying God's sanctuary. God would never destroy his sanctuary. Its sanctuary is a place where people of God go to rest. Satan is the one who is the destroyer of the sanctuary. Now here's the word covenant as it's found in Daniel 9:27. This is verse specific, okay? And there you have it. Because made by passing between pieces of flesh, a confederacy, a covenant, a league. Okay, there you have it, beloved. This is the covenant in the nutshell. It's exactly what it is. It's a league or a pact. To sum up the meaning, this is a covenant or a pact made between flesh and not with Yahweh. This covenant is not made between Israel or anybody else but the devil and his people. If you're observing what is happening in America and the world, you have to come to the conclusion that the locust army is hard at work in our nation. A convergence of ideas and common goals is found within them. Communism, socialism, fascism, Marxism, and Sharia law all have joined forces in order to conquer America from within. This is the only thing standing in their way, beloved. Many nations have joined this League of Nations in a covenant with the devil himself. Look at the world today, the media, including social media, the mainstream media, Hollywood, sports, big tech, politicians, big pharma, banking, and of course the tyrannical medical establishment have all joined forces with a common goal. They want to get rid of you. That's exactly what they want to do. You just look at Agenda 21. Okay? I mean, their agenda is in plain sight. And if they don't get rid of you, they want to make a slave out of you in this new world order electronic surveillance state. And the black horse is riding in the entire world, beloved, and make no mistake about it. Now, Matthew 24:7 describes this pestilence that we are experiencing right now. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in divers places. Now, this is basically Matthew. This is being described here is the black horse riding and at work. And there you have it, pestilence. It's a plague, okay? And we're experiencing that right now. Their main weapon, I'm going to repeat this again, is deception in all walks of life. They lie through their teeth. The lies are so thick, it's like a smoke that covers the entire world. For the first time in world history, the peoples of the world are being subjected to a medical procedure that will ultimately be their demise or their enslavement. Control these and you control the world. Religion, education, politics, and finances. The prince of the covenant is in control of all four of these. Make no mistake about it. The unity and oneness of mind, the global elite tells me that they're under the rule of a single leader who is none other than Satan. They rarely break ranks and they stick together because of their common criminality. And this is what holds them together, beloved. They're all criminals in the same boat. And they all want to protect each other, and they all scratch each other's back. It's the good old boy club. And this is why none of them are held accountable for the crimes that they have committed against humanity. And these will make war with the devil and his children at this time. Okay? And the four carpenters are the elect of God, the remnant who carry the mantle of the truth passed down through the ages by the Rhema and the Logos word of God. Zechariah 1:18, then I lifted up mine eyes, and I saw and beheld four horns. And these are the powers that I'm speaking about here. Education, religion, politics, and the economy. Zechariah 1:21, then he said, what come these to do? And he spake and said, these are the horns which have scattered Judah, so that no man did lift his head, but these are come to fray them, to cast out the horns of the Gentiles, which lifted up their horn over the land of Judah to scatter it. And make no mistake, the four carpenters are the elect, or the remnant, and they have come to fray the plans of this new world order, and they are doing their best right now. And the Lord showed me four carpenters, and these are the same. These carpenters, come to fray the plans of the enemy, beloved. And the carpenters will bruise the head of Satan in the end and fulfill the first prophecy given in the Bible. They will help to destroy the four horns of power that rule the earth in the end. And in the end, the bruisers will bruise the head of Satan himself. The elect of God have been chosen to do the job. And the Chittim are the bruisers. And here's the explanation of the Chittim right here. And you got all the verses that are used. And they are basically the ones who have the truth. They have the seal of God on their forehead. All right, now, okay, so the liars will be consumed by their own breath, and their lies are the chaff that will provide the stubble for their own destruction. They will cause their own destruction. And take heed, because the Lord has spoken it. I'm sure you have noticed the elite never go to jail. The list of people who should be behind bars is a mile long. You can't have justice if a majority of the judges in this country has lost their souls to the devil. They sold their souls to the devil. They might as well have lost their soul. Just us instead of justice, it's just us is a more fitting description of what we have in America today. When you and I do something wrong, we go to jail. When they do something wrong, nothing happens. Make no mistake, this covenant or league with the devil is worldwide, and they are bound together for Satan. They're making their move as I speak to enslave the entire world under this new world order. Their own lies will ensnare them, and the Lord will have them in derision. Now let's go over these verses in Isaiah 33:11, starting there, just to end this lecture. And ye shall conceive chaff, ye shall bring forth stubble. And this is in the end times. Your breath as fire shall devour you, and the people shall be as burnings of lime, as the thorns cut up, shall they be burned in the fire. Isaiah 32:3, and the eyes of them shall not be dim, and the ears of them that hear shall hearken. Realize. For the vile person will speak villainy, and in his heart will work iniquity, to practice hypocrisy, and to utter error against the Lord, to make empty the souls of the hungry, and he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. The instruments also of the churl are evil. He deviseth wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words, even when the needy speaketh right. So, beloved, we come to the end of another lecture. This is so strikingly similar to the verses in the Bible, what's going on right now. It's uncanny, beloved, and I hope you see it, and I hope you act upon it before it's too late. So much love from me to you, and we'll see you on the next one.